We talk a lot about motivation in photography, but I think when we focus on motivation, we overlook the real power that's available to us to improve our craft and create beautiful images. When you think of motivation, what comes to mind? If you're old enough, like me, you might think of black-bordered posters with striking images and inspiring quotes on them. Maybe to you, motivation means a coach, teacher, or parent, encouraging and pushing you forward. Maybe it's an empty wallet or a fast-approaching deadline. Motivation can come from a lot of different sources, and that is precisely the problem, because all of these possible sources of motivation have one thing in common. They are all external. They're all outside of you and therefore outside of your control. I don't believe it's possible to motivate yourself, and believe me, I've tried. But it's simply not possible because by its very nature, motivation comes from some outside stimulus, and we have no control whether that stimulus is present at any given time. When the alarm goes off and it's still dark outside, maybe cold and rainy as well, and I didn't get enough sleep because I spent too long in front of the computer the night before finalizing some edits, I don't have my father standing over me encouraging me to get up, get dressed, and get something done. All I have is me. In that moment, I only have one tool that can make the difference between getting up and going out to get the shot or going back to sleep, accomplishing nothing. And ironically enough, that is something I got from my father a long time ago. Discipline. When it comes to accomplishing goals or improving your skills, discipline is much more important than motivation. Motivation is elusive, mysterious, and fleeting. Discipline, on the other hand, is long-lasting, reliable. Discipline carries the load that motivation all too often leaves abandoned. But discipline is not easy. We often turn away from it because it looks too much like work. In fact, one of the reasons I'm making this video is as a reminder to myself that discipline is what consistently gets results. I've been a bit lazy in my photography because I've relied too much on motivation and not enough on basic foundational practices and habits that I know will eventually get me where I want to be. So please don't think I'm preaching at you from on high. I'm just as guilty as anyone of falling into the motivation trap, but it's something I'm trying to improve. There have been too many Saturdays when I woke up early intending to go out and take some photos, only to abandon the idea because I didn't feel motivated. At the time, all I wanted was a little extra sleep, then a relaxing cup of coffee on the couch. But lately I've been thinking about all those Saturdays and the shots I missed. Shots I missed not because I didn't have my settings right or because I had the wrong lens on my camera or even still had the lens cap on. Those kind of missed shots I can live with. I'm talking about the shots I missed because I didn't even bother to try. Those are the ones that are hard to live with. And in a way, maybe that brings this discussion full circle. Maybe that black cloud of missed opportunities hanging over my head is exactly the motivation I need to introduce a little more discipline into my photography habits. Now, I'm an amateur, a hobbyist, and that's who this channel is aimed at. So I know there's a fine line to walk here. I need to be more disciplined in my approach to photography, but I don't want to push myself so hard that it sucks all the fun out of it for me. So I'm going to try to make incremental improvements to my habits. I'm going to start by organizing my gear. I'm going to have the discipline to keep my gear organized, batteries charged, and everything in its place so that when it's time to go out and shoot, I can be packed and ready in just a few short minutes. Next, I'm going to dedicate some time to researching locations. I'll set up a list in my Google Maps of places I think would be good for photography. Then, I'm going to make a commitment to a regular schedule of visiting those places and taking photographs. To be honest, I'm not sure what that schedule will look like just yet, but you have to do the first things first, right? One thing I do know is that when I look back through my catalog of images, my favorite ones, the shots I'm most proud of, were all the result of me practicing a little discipline. Whether that be getting up earlier than I wanted to, or enduring swarms of mosquitoes in the Florida heat, or even just putting in the time to research maps and astronomy charts to find the right location and time for the shot. It was discipline that got me those results, because it got me off my ass and out in the field. The approach to discipline is a highly subjective thing, so your approach may be vastly different from mine. The details aren't important. What's important is to open your eyes and honestly evaluate your own habits. Then ask yourself, which is the more effective approach? Motivation, which says, do it when you feel like it, or discipline that says, do it today.